Made a wrong turn once or twice, done my way out, blood and fire, bad decisions, that's alright. Welcome to my silly life, mistreated, misplaced, misunderstood, misknowing so good, it didn't slow me down. Mistaken, always second guessing, underestimated, look, I'm still around. Pretty, pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're less than perfect. Pretty, pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect to me. You're so mean when you talk about yourself, you're wrong. In this lesson we take a look at Perfect by American singer-songwriter Pink, taken from her 2010 album Greatest Hits So Far. I believe it was the second single to be released. Quite a serious song, although it still sounds kinda uplifting there. However, as for it features like a classic 1-5-6-4 progression in the key of G. So this lesson is not about the progression. We're kind of done with that really fast, because it is indeed in the key of G, going from G major to D major to E minor to C major. For those chords, those two fingers, put them on the 3rd fret of the two top strings, D and a G, it is there. So when you do so for G major, this is definitely based on how Pink performs it acoustically with her guitar player, so how he plays it. What he does is indeed muting the 5th string with his middle finger and leaving out his index for the B there in the bass. So only roots and fifths in this chord, G major, G5 you could call it. Now, for when you move to D and you leave those two fingers on, you would have like a D sus4. If you would leave them on and go into E minor, he doesn't necessarily do that, so he might take them off, but you can leave them on if you want to, and then you would have like an E minor 7. Same thing for C major, leave them there, just fret with your index and your middle finger the bass notes of a C major chord, and you would have like a C at 9. Okay, and that's indeed the progression throughout the whole song, although there are different chord shapes for the 3rd verse, the rapping part, you could call it. Not necessarily for G, although he also bars it when playing it, but then for D major here, and E minor, C major there. So there's actually a lot of muting going on for this hand, because this is kind of the feel, what you hear. When you fret those chords, when he plays them, is like on beat 1 and the end of beat 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and there. Same thing for almost for the other chords there. We thoroughly break this down for sure. Another thing that we mainly take a look at is indeed the strumming. Especially for beginners, double time strumming is sometimes not so easy, because there is so much that you can do in a measure of 4 beats. Because what you basically have with double time strumming is 2 downstrokes and 2 upstrokes in 1 beat. So if you would count the downstrokes, you would get like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and if you would add the upstrokes, you would have like 8 downstrokes, 8 upstrokes, 16 in total. The trick is to leave out and to emphasize whatever you wanna, well, emphasize. In this case, the snare of the drums on beats 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Well, you could have heard it earlier in this preview. This is kind of how he indeed strums it. The only set thing here is definitely to keep this hand moving. I'm not a fan of pointing out this is the pattern or this is the pattern. There is too much room for variations there. That said, we do take a look at a few examples and we thoroughly break it down, so you really should be able to take it from there and to get used to this double time strumming if you're not already, of course. Like I said, also quite a bit of muting going on for this hand. So that's the technique to incorporate there as well. So yes, those will be the main things that we take a look at in this lesson. Like I said, it's not about the progression, just 4 chords all the way through. Now, so if you're indeed interested in all those details, then indeed check it out at totallyguitars.com.